We're so sorry we're starting late, but the conversation was already started off behind the scene, and we have our guest analyst, Mr. Kenny Adu Yami, in the studio. Good morning, sir.
Good morning. How are you?
I'm fine. Welcome.
Thank
So,
you very much.
while we were on that short break, we were talking about the fire that started yesterday, both on the island and Yaba. And of course, as usual, the first set of people to who would blame is the government. But Mr. Kenny has a different point of view, and he'll be sharing that pretty soon. And remember, you can be a part of the show. Ladies, join us 0809 We always blame the government for everything in this country, and that's because mostly everything we go through in this part of the world is most of it is as a result of some of the things that are not put in place. They were promised during campaign, during elections, but never really got to uh, be a reality. And so as a result, everything just becomes the fault of the government, including the fire that started in Yaba Market and Abjola Odeko yesterday that killed a few persons and injured quite a number of persons. Now, few weeks ago, Sanwo-Olu inaugurated or introduced a new set of fire extinguishers, fire service emergency to Lagos. New set of them, quite a number of them. And now we've got this issue of fire coming up. And an hour after the fire started, it took them quite a long time to get to the venue where the fire had started. Now imagine if the downfall buses and the rest of them were on strike, what would have happened? It would have taken more than an hour plus to get there. Yet Mr. Kenny said it's not the fault of the government. So let's hear your point of view, Mr. Kenny.
Well, let's be very explicit. I will not absolve government completely of the impunity and the consequences of not getting to that the sin. But however, let us be clear. It's obvious that in this part of this world, we have outsourced almost everything that about our life to the government. In fact, people are almost getting to a point, see if they can't go to the toilet, it's government that is
And do you
responsible.
blame them?
Honestly, let's be frank. For you to have a building, you must conform with what we call building code. And the statutory recommendation for you for compliance is that you must have a fire hose reel that you have to prime. You must be priming the pump so that in case of any emergency, you'll be able to have ready water that will come into that will use. Every houses, every building must have fire extinguisher at strategic location. I'm saying for a whole building of that nature, you should have not less than more than 10 to 20 fire extinguisher. That is the second one. The third one is this: everybody must be conscious of near misses when it comes to the issue of fire. Quite a lot of us, because we have been used to so much of comfort, how do you explain a generator you've not serviced consistently? You are now, the generator is now running, you can't even off the generator, you are putting fuel into it, petrol for instance, into that generator. How do you talk about that? So which means you are even the root source of the problem. the what we should understand is that government have a responsibility. Government is positioned to act on emergency preparedness. Remember, we have quite a lot of issues in Lagos. You can imagine the behavior of activities in Lagos. You can imagine a lot of activities that come. You can imagine the negligence of our people. So, in as much as I want to say, government, you have the part. Because, yes, someone who can train some people, but he cannot work with them. He himself is to create an enabling environment for people to go. So rather than blaming Sanwo-Olu, blaming the government, I want us to go straight into those people that are charged with putting with day-to-day activities of that fire station. There must be somebody there. Not only that, we must also talk to the near government that is there, the local government. They have a safety unit that is supposed to go around and check possible occurrences. And then two, the fire station is there, and also the building. They must be building code certified, which means now that people should go around. There must be a maintenance officer that will go around to check the activities. And also some of our people will now store fuel in their generator room in a confined space. And you have not serviced the generator, You can't even exercise 10 minutes, before you pour the diesel. So why we say we blame the government, but if you share it, government have their own blame. Let's say 20%, but 80% rests with the people. Our people are some of them, they can't even sacrifice anything. The time for them to off generator and put through, is it too much? So do you now want government to be at every building to tell them how to put generator, to tell them to service their generator? People like to make money. Yes, I'm not saying you should make money, but don't compromise issue of money with your life. Some people are so like Adesica. Some people do things as usual. Some people gamble with their life. Look at the life that they've lost now. And I can tell you, let's check if those people, they have insurance. The only thing that is pathetic, that I'm full of sorrow for, is the people that died. Because you can't recover the debt.
So who takes care of the damages now?
It's insurance. It's not the government. It's insurance.
From the bank. Because
interestingly, if it's the bank is in trouble. If it's the bank, yeah, that's even better. Because the bank will have insurance. They will go through and they will pay claim.
Well, I hope that happens, because a lot of lives were lost, and quite a number of persons were lying in the hospital right now at the edge.
Interestingly, if it's a bank, it's even worse. It's worse in the sense that for you to operate such a sensitive road, you must have alternative power. What is happening to solar? Why can't they build in solar? Yes, they can build a solar panel. So in case if they have problem with their generator, the solar will take over. People don't want to invest in alternative source. They want to go on with the same business as well. Our people don't think outside the box. You can imagine, they wouldn't even have a good maintenance officer to see. If they have maintenance officer, maybe they are giving the person 15,000 per month, because they will say it's only putting this and that. And they don't know that having a maintenance officer is as good as saving the lives and saving the building of the people, or saving the building. Look at what happened now. If they invested a little amount to be conscious of the environment, to be conscious of generator, to have a very good maintenance officer there, and also to carry out a routine check of the generator, it will have come to this extent. My only blame is the responsiveness of the fire station. And however, you can't even blame them completely. Look and see in Lagos, the jam lock in Lagos.
Well, I spoke to a few of my friends who's been on the road since yesterday, and they've been telling me that the road has been free. So thank God for that, right?
Well, we will say the road and be free. Free because there's no downfall. In the place we are talking about, if you say freedom, it's not within the VI. The road, they will be free where downfall does not apply. That is only where, because people will still go to their work. So what I'm saying is this: I'm not giving reasons why they did not get there. While I blame them for not being very prompt, not very active, not acting on the spur of the moment, I want to say let's share the blame across the board. Everybody is guilty, both the people, both the impunity it created, and also the drag of the fire officer. After all, they're supposed to respond at the nick of time.
All right, since we're already talking about downfall buses, let's also look at this story here where MC Oluomo has told downfall drivers that he's not responsible for their grievances, that they should channel their grievances to the appropriate quarters. And I remember the first question I asked you is, if Oluomo is not responsible, then who is responsible for the downfall drivers? I thought this was like a general fight.
No, I think we need a bit of education when it comes to the issue of transportation, because the transportation sector in Lagos have their own kind of supply chain attitude. Let's come to the government. The first point of call is Commissioner of Transportation. That is one, you understand. Then when you leave the Commissioner of Transportation, that is the former sector of it, is the Ministry of Transportation that has the true responsibility to regulate the conduct of transportation system in Lagos. But however, let's look at the informal side of it. Prior before time, MC Oluomo is the chairman of the entire National Road Transport Worker, National Union of Road Transport Worker.
Yes.
But now, because of what happened to them, disagreement, he segregated from them. Okay. And Lagos State now created a Lagos Park. Lagos Park.
And
garage management. So MC Oluomo is only in charge of Lagos Park and garage. But you will see clearly, NDRTW is still working in Lagos, because go to various streets and various bus stops, you will see them. They don't wear any uniform. They look tattered. They look more or less like a miscreant that is near mad person. They will jump on your car. They will remove everything. Who? It's not absolutely Oluomo that is responsible for that. I think the earlier the better. Government should come, because at the end of the day, these miscreants who are on the part of NRT create a kind of nuisance across board, because they are used to collecting cheap money, and I don't know where they channel this money to. Every junction, like if you move from, let's say you are moving from Ikorodu Road, you are moving from Maryland down to Yaba, I can tell you, you will see all those miscreants, more than 10 of them is on the street, and they have different section of people. They do a lot of things. Must we continue with this impunity? That's why I'm saying the Lagos State government should come with a firm rule. For instance, in Iyoyo, they ban all the activities of those people. In Ogun State, they ban the activities of these people. Why are we having a double face? The question still remains the same.
So government recognizes too the National Union of Road Transport Union, NURTW, and the Road Transport Employers Association of Nigeria, RTEAN. Now, which people are the Joint Drivers Welfare Association of Nigeria?
Let me tell you, let's be frank. You know, in Nigeria, we register many miscreant organizations.
There's so many of them.
Look, let's be frank. You see, in Nigeria generally, even they register a lot of, because of the impunity in those systems. Everybody created a factional organization.
And according to these reports, they are not even recognized by the government.
Hold on. What I'm saying is this. In Lagos, for instance,
yes.
Look at the beehive of activities in Lagos. We have so many moribund associations wearing so many strange uniforms that you don't know. Today, one will wear blue here. You will see green the other. You will see khaki there. That's what I'm saying now, that the Lagos State government, if you want to create an enabling environment, this is the time to stop all these informal and unregistered associations, because they are creating nuisance to us. All the money they've been collecting, where are this money going to? Quite a lot of mushroom organizations are not ready, and they are exploiting people on a daily basis. Who do you blame? One, I will blame the government. The government is to create an enabling environment. The government is to do monitoring and enforcement. So if government did not do that, we will blame the government. And also, the people should report moribund association, unless if government will not take action. The question is this: we want an enabling environment. We want a peaceful setup. But there's some priestcraft among us who will do every dubious means to ask too many. Nobody wants to work with their brain. They only work on their acts.
Mr. Kenny, can I ask a question? What is Agberu?
Agberu?
Yeah.
Are like touts.
They are like, or they are touts?
They are touts.
Okay.
These are the boys you will see. These are the boys who, like, they behave like a vagabond. They are all the streets. They have not been to school. They can't speak good English. They smoke. They do almost all and they are the ones that are used as mercenary during elections.
So why do we have people like this in bus stops collecting fares from drivers, interrupting our smooth motion to our workplaces and our business places? Why do we have people like this who are not educated, who are touts?
We will blame our leaders, our political leaders, because these are the people that are used as mercenary to foment trouble also during election. They've used them. For instance, if you gather those boys who are not trained, they stay under the bridge. Some of them stayed. If you go to any major bridge now, these people will be sleeping there day by day. They don't have a house. They don't have any means of livelihood. What they do is to do touting. It's because these people are being retained because they use them as mercenary during election. If you use them during election, they make some money. After the election, what happens? And these are the things we should stop in our society. Why can't we say there's no Agberu? Why can't we gather these people and create alternative means of livelihood for them? I blame the government wholly for that. Because they allowed it. If they don't allow it, such impunity will not try. I'm not saying we shouldn't have national, because you can't remove National Union of Road Transport Workers. because the government itself cannot even provide transportation, means of transportation for it. That's why talking about the light rail should come. I'm worried. I'm worried in the sense that government, not only Lagos, across the board, we have not done any meaningful impact on what I call intermodality. It's not every time people must fly the road. Why can't we enhance our waterways? From island to Ikorodu, you can go on boat. Very good boat, a fine cruise.
Well, for somebody like me who is scared of water, I might not apply that means of transport.
How many of you that are there? How many of you? The question is this: why are you scared of water? The question is this: you have a safety, you have a safety jacket that you put on. You won't stay very close to the water, because if you want to get to your office as early as possible, waterways present a very good opportunity. Now, sooner or later, light rail will be here. Until we come to a point where we create an intermodality mode of transportation.
You're leaving out the train stations. That's a good means of transportation.
Train station, you understand? But come to think of it, let us make sure that that's this one thing I will always advise the electorate. Electorates are only after their stomach because they want to eat 4,000. That demand you need to make from people. We need to make life much more comfortable for ourselves. All those things we are complaining, if we make a demand and stand by not what we will use to feed ourselves, let go. Then Nigeria will be a better place to do. But some of our people, it's their stomach that is important to them. Some of them, they say they are in the structure. They are in the struggle. Regional leaders, all they do is to get cheap money every Fridays. They don't use their brain to make money.
There are quite a number of advantages if we take away some of these buses from the streets. First of all, traffic will reduce. That's one big advantage, right? Traffic will reduce. And someone actually said to me, if governments can just use this opportunity to just say, okay, no more buses, and create other means of transportation, Lagos will be a very sweet place to drive.
They have been doing it. Let's be frank. If government has tried, I would say government have tried. They've inaugurated a waterway transport.
So what is going on?
The question is this: you can't force people to it. What we will say is our people need further education. Now, too, you need to guarantee safety across the board.
Okay.
And also, the question is this: what we say is, in view of our growing population, for instance, BRT has been contracted to people. There's so many routes they created for people. But how have they been managed? Have they been managed well? The answer is no. The question was, what will still continue today is this: population, we are approaching an explosion. Lagos is almost hitting over 22 million people. And can imagine people that goes on the road. Go to Alimosho, go to Ikorodu, you will see the men on the road. The question still is, what is government putting in what framework is government putting in to actually come in and look and provide alternative means of transportation? Now, if they created a loan scheme that people can buy a vehicle and pay over a long time, and through the government, who have much of a problem?
I'm looking at a world where we don't even have to drive. Like, people would say, oh, I'm not driving my car today. I want to use the train station. Do you think Lagos can get to that point?
Oh yeah, Lagos can get to that point. They can get to that point where for instance, a lot of construction work is going on. Look at the environment. Look at Yaba. Look at quite a lot of places that we have activities. Light rail will go. All we could do, let's encourage government to do what they're doing. Don't let us begin to talk of people who can't even manage their home to come into governance. Because people who can't even manage their home will say they want to be governor, they want to do this, they want to do that, and when they come, they revert the status quo to it. This because there's no continuity in what we do in Nigeria. Because some people are going there for looting and to have power and money. If there had been continuity in all the activities of the government, we won't be in this despicable situation. Come to think of it, it's only Lagos and probably Rivers State that is behind of new project. Have there been any announcement in other states about what they're doing? No. What they do is they collect subvention and they distribute it and they say they are feeding structure. I don't know which structure they're talking about. People are suffering. Most of the states are insolvent. Let us put the local government into context. Local government is the one that is closer to you. What are they doing? Remember, local government, they share 22% of the budget. The state government share 24% of the budget. The 52% belongs to the federal government. But what have we seen in the federal government? You see, there are three levels we have to function. We function at tertiary level, which is solely responsibility of the government. Secondary level, which is responsibility of the state governor. Then the primary level is the local government. What have we experienced? Most of our budget now are expended in the north on primary assignment. Let's ask them in the north. In view of the local government they have, what have they been doing with the money they've been getting? They get a big chunk of it. Look at them now. That's why I said we should begin to negotiate. Must we continue this impunity? Must we work and other people will just spend the money and nothing is happening? The government intervention is more on tertiary in the on primary in the north, and in the south we continue to go through stress. The imbalance is creating a nuisance to us. It's time for us to renegotiate our existence and understand that, look, there are differences. Everybody should put their hands on deck. Everybody should go. You think out of the box to raise the internal general revenue. What internal general? Only 4 states is having internal general revenue in Nigeria. Only 4 states out of 36 states. Is that a failure? Is that not a colossal failure? So which means they will continue to stop allocation to Lagos. Lagos will survive. They survived before. Let government take a decisive decision and do that. They will only allocate, you will only be allocated a particular resources when they see the progress of what you are doing. I must allocate resources vis-a-vis internally generated revenue you are doing. If you generate so much, yes, you qualify. But government will not do that. Our people in the house, what are they doing? These are, in fact, I'm telling you, look at them. What are they doing? What are they doing? All they do is they continue to increase their own. They're even fighting that because of the hard thing, they want to increase their monument. When we're saying they should go. So people who go into position of management, position of authority in Lagos, in Nigeria, are egocentric, they're selfish, they're self-centered, they only think of themselves. You can see how much of money they amass to themselves. The entire legislative sector is spending more than between 10 and 15% of the total budget. What have they done? Is life meaningful to us?
Let's take messages, Mr. Kennedy. We have 5 minutes. If the government have settled their own part by providing 24 hours electricity, do you need to buy or fuel a generator? All blames goes to the government. Adegboyega speaking. I think someone raised that point. Bakari raised that point when we were talking about it during the break. The Lagos state government isn't sincere when it comes to transportation system in the state. They need to come out openly and put their foot on the ground and tell Lagosians the truth concerning the transportation regulations and those in charge. So much shady dealings within the Lagos state government. And he throws a shade at me. He says, Ekwangon, that are scared of water. He says the local government barrister, Kenny, is hammering on is overwhelmed and overshadowed by the governor. Most governors have collapsed their local government, making them not to be effective and relevant. So don't blame the local government, they are helpless. Are they really helpless?
No. You see, let's understand one thing. In as much as first, let's start with the provision of electricity.
Yeah.
Now, you say you want electricity. As of today, Lagos State have their own generation station, but the federal government refused them to put it on the grid. Whose fault? Is the cabal. We are saying the problem of electricity in Nigeria is because of some leaders who are in high places. The discos, they have a cap contract with discos. Why can't they unbundle it? Why can't they unbundle NEPA just like they unbundle telecommunication industry? It's because the high power people are building generator on in. These are the white people you are going to vote for again, who put generator on a daily basis. If the federal government is sincere about it, what can they allow? In fact, they are saying now that they want the modular power now, that you can generate the modular power, but they are still maintaining the integrity of transition system. The grid is collapsing every day. True or false?
True.
The generation they are doing is having problem. They pour money into it too. The disco, they put in a lot of money. What are we doing? The question is, for how long do we continue to waste? 30 billion have been wasted. 16 billion from the former government, and we have almost over 30 billion. Do we have stable power? This money are going into private hand. So who do you blame? So when we are blaming, let's go put blame direct to people. Now, we are saying now that's why I continue to say, when you work on a fraudulent constitution, we have exclusive list, we have concurrent list. The exclusive list, what the state, what they should have unbundled, government is putting their hands on it. Why can't they make this issue of power to be on concurrent list and give every state who can provide power to go on it? And if it is the transition grid they're saying, they can lease a circuit for them and they pay. Why can't we do it now? It's because of the power, the cabal people that are doing it. They are bringing them on the day, and these people are still coming in for you to vote for them. That's why I say the people who put us in mystery, making people very mysterious. The mysterious people are now going to vote for people who put them in mystery. Some of them are at the corner, they will not talk. And you say they are putting, they have their candidate in prosy. And the one will say, I'll clean. How can you clean Nigeria when the people who put in power are the people who put on in mystery?
Let's take this message. Good morning, Kiss FM. Reginald from Railway Compound. The fire that happened yesterday at Yaba, if you can go there and use your eyes to count how many generators will line up the ritual without space. This one is working, the other one is working. And they will line up together. There's no how when Monday to catch fire. Okay. So you also catch fire. So basically saying that the generators are too much and packed in one place. And that's why something like that can happen. He also says here, I wish we Nigerians should blame ourselves because of our carelessness in the country. If you go to that Yaba about the fire, okay, still the same number. Mr. Kenny, Regina from Compound Way. High hormones in 8 years. This question they were asking you, what is it? Go to Lagos Island, you see boys slapping an elderly woman collecting money. A woman that is hawking pure water, selling sweets, and they want to slap the woman to give her a ticket, which collecting does money stuck. Okay, I'm trying to understand.
I know.
Do you get what he's saying?
No, I got it.
And he says, Mr. Kenny, do you think these people don't pay tax to Lagos State? Let us ask ourselves. They are paying tax. It is very bad during Fashola when the man was in the government. Who can try things like that? Nobody. So I think he's still talking about the Ivory people.
No. Let's understand ourselves. Yeah. I appreciate what the people are saying. You see, issue of ticket racketeering is on the increase.
Yes.
It's because we have so many of the mushroom institutions that are not registered that go. And this mushroom institution, if you go, they are the nefarious activities of the people in the local government.
Yes.
Go to it. You understand? And we should begin to ask, all this money they collect by crook and means, they should render account for it. You will see now that when you put people in a position, what are they? They make money through crook and means. I'm saying we have not gotten a better framework through which people will interface with people. Look at everywhere. In fact, I had in one day when they are asking, when one policeman is asking for hacking permit from a car, and the guy is saying, how can you be asking of hacking permit from a car? The question still remains the same. Our environment is highly very toxic. People, the impunity we're talking about has been on for many decades. So what we should do is let us be our brother's keeper. I agree. It is possible for us to have 24 hours life, but how can we have it? Come to think of it, we have asked government to unbundle power. What is happening with this code? They say unbundle. Have they unbundled it? No. Without creating a framework, they can't work. There is alternative sort of power that we should do. If you have a place of that place that's a market that generates a lot of revenue, why can't they have alternative power there? Why can't they? Because there's some power. There's some power you can do and pay over a long time. The exact place, and I know now that the issue of safety was compromised. How do you allow generators to be put one and the other in the place like that? So there's no sanity within which you. People are only interested in making money. In as much as I want to blame government for being for having the statutory power to create a framework, to create a kind of to monitor effectively and control the activity. Most of our leaders are grossly not credible. I told you. We have leaders who don't have integrity. We have leaders who are only conscious of money. And followership now is extremely very trusted. We have irresponsible followership. The leaders themselves, they made up their mind to loot with impunity. How can you have good governance? People who only try their best. That's why we're saying we should begin to look at each other before we blame any other person. Let's see, have we done what we're supposed to do? The change we are talking in Nigeria should start with individual. Because it is individual, it is through within this individual that will put people in power. Right. But when it comes to making a decision, we don't think like that. We only look for who gives us money. Stomach infrastructure.
We need to go. We need to go. Tomorrow we'll probably be talking about